Hi guys. So for my community event assignment, I actually decided to interview a married couple. They actually both are involved in the LGBT community in really opposite ways, actually. So the first lady, Debbie Epstein, she's married to Kathy Gillespie, and Debbie works for Hewlett Packard, the HP computer company, and then Kathy has been on the Board of Education for a really long time, and also ran for state legislator 2 times for the state of Washington. They both use female pronouns, so she and her. So for Debbie, she got involved about 30 years ago. She worked for HP in California and in Vancouver, Washington. She actually started in 1985. There wasn't an official LGBT employee resource group. They had an unofficial group called Friends of Dorothy, which is widely recognized as the first LGBT community employee resource group in the corporate America. So she got involved with that as soon as she started working for them, mainly to make friends and create a social network. But in 1986, the unofficial Friends of Dorothy group changed to Gay and Lesbian Employee Network and became recognized as an employee network at the company in like corporate legal terms. In the 90s, her main focus was working on getting the term sexual orientation added to the company non-discrimination policy in 1992. And then they moved to getting HP to offer domestic partnership benefits in 1996. Debbie, of course, would benefit from these because she was her domestic partner before she got married. And she is a member of several nonprofits right now. She's a board member. So she's a member of Washington Nonprofits and the Friends of Vancouver Lake Board. She was really visible in the schools and community, and she was actually the only elected gay school board member, director in the whole region. And she's still the only one, even though she's retired, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. They both got involved in the community, I guess, because like they represented the community and they just wanted to build on that support and like be visible and be a role model. So I think Debbie would agree that what it means to be a leader is just being an ally to your own community. So like learning about LGBT people and accepting them where they are and how they are. It also means to be open and out about yourself and to present an open channel for people to get to know me and for me to get to know them. It also means to be conversant on issues key to the LGBTQ community and be willing to share who we are and why these issues are important. So I think that's important, and Kathy's responses were almost word for word of those of Debbie's, and she really just thinks it's important, like, to be a leader in that community is just, to be out and proud and just to be an example, like, that you can just be yourself. So I guess one thing I learned on how to be an advocate for the community is basically, like, just providing that channel, like being a communication line, not being afraid to stand up for what you believe in and being willing to help others in the community, those that might not feel like they have as many options. And what stood out about this interview was, like, I knew the community was pretty big, but I didn't realize, like, the LGBT community is everywhere. So like they're politicians and they're on the school board and they work for computer companies and they start employee resource groups, which was something new that I learned. I didn't know that big corporations like that had employee resource groups. specifically for the LGBTQ community, so that was really cool. Something that I related from the interview to something that we learned in the module was, I remember back in Module D when we went over the modern history timeline, there was a 1996 Romer versus Evans case from the Supreme Court. They shot down a Colorado amendment about gay and lesbian protection against discrimination. They called it special rights, but they're just human rights, like they're not anything special. And that was during the time period, like the same year that Debbie was working to get domestic partnership benefits added for health care for her job. So that was, I guess, kind of like simultaneously happening. And then just a few years before, she started working to get the discrimination policy amended to include sexual orientation, which was also mentioned in Module D and several times in the Equality Act and the Employee Non-Discrimination Act. So I think she was an important pioneer, especially in HP, to accomplishing those things. And overall, I don't think my beliefs about the LGBT community changed. I learned more, but I just learned that, we are indeed like a community, like we're one big family. So it's more important than ever just to be there for each other and be supportive and not judge others, even in the community. I know there can be a lot of segregation amongst different orientations, gender expressions, and whatever, but it's just really important to just be one. So I really enjoyed this project.